aim of the Touch and Rice podcast is to spread fun in the touch football community. We talk a little bit of touch footy chat, but mostly play games and throw some banter. Hosts Cess and Kimmy would like to pay respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet.
My name is Jorgie Skiing, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people. Extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Mabuhay, Kimmy.
Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome back. It's been a little while. We've missed an episode. So for all of our listeners who have been hanging out, I'm sure there's not too many of them, but we're back and we'll try and roll these out. Thankfully, in the studio, we have the voice of touch football in Queensland anyway, in my opinion, Scotty Mac.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And, mate, your voice will probably put us to shame here, so we'll get some tips after the podcast.
No, I've got one of those voices that it's a little bit recognisable now, but when I listen back to myself, cringe. Yeah, no one really likes listening back to themselves, all right, and hearing what your voice sounds like, but
No.
yeah, there's probably worse ones getting around, I guess.
Yeah, mate. Well, we're glad to have you here, and I'm sure people will listen to this back. Kimmy and I often will probably try and get the guests speaking more than us because we are, like you, don't really like listening to ourselves back. But here we are.
Especially singing.
I've listened to your episodes. I think you're underestimating yourself. Your singing's been pretty good, and I actually listened to one a couple of days ago, and you said I'm not gonna get into it, and then you just started belting it out anyway. So hey, you can't hold back, right?
Couldn't help it. It's the
How's your singing voice? Scotty?
Oh, it's no good.
Okay,
no, it's no good. Again, it's like when you hear it in your voice, in your head, and you're in the car, and you're like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But my daughter, she's 5. She's pretty brutal. I asked her the other day how I go, and no good. She says no good.
Yeah, look, I after the last one, Kimmy, I got absolutely smashed by our Metro Cup boys, UP Rebel boys. I thought I did okay, like you, Scotty.
Yeah.
Shower, car, I think I sound great, but obviously not.
Well,
not
unfortunately, I think they would have all seen the reel that I stitched together, and it was of Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she did an interview talking about, because her heritage is Filipino, and she had a concert in the Philippines, and the whole audience was singing perfectly on key, all the lyrics back to her, and then I stitched in
that wasn't
Cess, Timmy and I trying to sing The Lion King, but he was first up, so if you watch like the shorts of it, it's just Cess on his own.
It's not fair.
Sorry, not sorry.
Luckily, there's no singing today, so let's jump
good.
straight in. We can relax now.
Excellent.
Straight into your brag sheet, Scotty. I've got it here. You have said this. I didn't say this. A very average touch player. Didn't make many rep teams other than the mighty Redlands Muddies through juniors, and aren't they going strong?
They're going good.
Today? They are going very well. In the Prem's GF as well.
Yeah,
the
they
Metro
did.
Cup.
Yeah, as we speak. So not sure when this will come out, but Metro Cup Grand Finals, after being washed out last week, are on this Saturday, depending on weather. It's been raining all week here in Brisbane again, but Redlands from 4th. They only won 2 games during the regular season and knocked off Country Club Colts, who were undefeated at that point in time. It was a massive win.
Fair to say they're probably not expected to be here.
No, not at all. It's going to play right into their hands, I think.
Yeah.
I think Rebels, to be honest, although Colts would have given them a huge match in the grand final, they'll be nervous because they got nothing to lose, Redlands. They'll throw the kitchen sink.
You backing them?
I'm backing them.
Okay,
You have
of course.
I mean, no, sorry, I should say commentary, unbiased. You can't forget your roots and where you come from a little bit. I'm supporting them. I think it'll be a tough game, though.
Fair enough. Well, good luck to the Redlands Muddies this Saturday
Night.
Replaying after washout last week. Back to you. You won only one B-grade grand final out of about 30 attempts in social touch. Don't underestimate that. There's a lot of people, I think, that play social touch that will never win a championship. So there you go. Commentary highlights. 2019 World Cup, Trans-Tasman Series, State of Origin, etc. That's a pretty good rap sheet for commentary. Have commentated on some Rugby League 9 matches with former NRL player and ABC radio commentator Luke Lewis. You've been lucky enough to interview people like Mal Meninga, Billy Slater, and some current and former Olympians. Very good rap sheet, and mate, as I said, personally the voice of touch in Queensland for me.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. No, it's fun. I used to work in the sport back in the day. That's how I kind of got involved. I just fell into it. I had no real sort of interest of doing commentary or anything like that. Fell into it. When I left the sport, I was kind of a bit nervous about how I was going to fill the void. I didn't want to walk away from the sport. Like it was, played it since I was sort of 6 years old, and to be able to fall into commentary now keeps me involved. Then that's I get to hang out with mates and everything like that, and commentate the sport I love. It's the best.
Excellent. Well, mate, you've already answered my first question for the set of 6 you've jumped in. No, that's okay. You can add to a little bit to it. So let's jump straight into that set of 6. You told us a little bit how you fell into commentating, didn't want to walk away from the sport. Your touch origin story, officially, question 1. How did you get your start into touch?
Yeah, well, probably most players or people started when I was about 6, 7 or 8 playing juniors down at Redlands. My old man played down there, and he had a little bit of a hand in getting the junior competition up and going back then. Played like you sort of touched on in the intro with Redlands all the way through my junior ranks up until I think it was about under 17. So junior state cups was pretty much it. That was about my limit for me. I wasn't the greatest player. It was one of those, just ruck us up the field, get off, and let the flashy players finish it off kind of deals. And then in terms of commentary, like I said, I just kind of fell into it. I'm not sure if you guys know Belinda Sharp. She's the NRL referee now. She was the marketing communications manager at Queensland Touch. So I started working there through my uni degree. And back in those days, live streaming, wasn't really a thing. And we started to get it into some of our tournaments, so Junior State Cup. But at that point, it was just one bloke turning up with a camera, and there was no scores, no clock or anything like that. Then it started to evolve. And one tournament we had a couple of legends of the sport. I won't mention who they are on the commentary. The first year that we could do commentary, and they proceeded to spray the referees for pretty much the whole match. And Belinda, Rocket as we used to call it, came up to me. She said, "You just got to commentate this next game till I find somebody else." So I jumped on. I was running the comp at the time, so it's pretty hard running it with everything that goes on. And so I called the game, and she said, "You're doing it from now on." And I did it, and that's just how it went and took off. And, that was I ended up leaving Queensland Touch about 2018, and that's when I kind of thought, I'll move on to other things, and then got the call to do the 2018 Origin series, and, probably started taking it a bit more seriously from there.
Excellent. And have avoided spraying referees. They're our friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They are. I'm a level 1 referee as well. I know how hard it is. It's a lot of love for the referees. And I loved your episode with Saldern and Heck. Heck is one of the characters of the sport. I'll give you a quick Heck story just because I was actually this is weirdly, I was thinking about him the other day. But I think it was an Australian New Zealand Youth Trans-Tasman series in Newcastle. I had to share a room with Heck, and I found out he's a sleep talker. He woke up in the middle of the night, dead silent, turned up, looked over at me and said, "Good morning, Muffin." And it freaked me out. I thought he was awake and just played a joke. He had no recollection of it. And now every time he sees me, he goes, "Good morning, Muffin." And it just puts shivers down my spine. And shout out to you,
He
Heck.
claims he has no recollection.
Yeah, that's right. He knew what he was doing.
Good cover up there. Second question for you for the set of 6. What do you love about touch footy?
It's the people, I think. The people that's involved in the sport. Through working in the sport to start with and working for Queensland Touch. So it's a big state to cover. We relied on resources. So, you could be down on the Gold Coast one weekend and up in Townsville the following weekend in central Queensland. The people that run our sport, that are volunteers, they're the salt of the earth, particularly out in the country. Not saying the ones around the metro regions don't do the same thing. Everyone gives a lot of hours, but there's just so many good people in our sport. Even my own personal mates that I used to play with, 2 of my groomsmen were players that I played footy with. My best mate, Cam, we still talk all the time and hang out all the time. So It's the people that you meet along the way. It's the best, and you got the opportunity to play with your best mates, but your family as well. Play with their kids and everything. There's not too many sports that you can do that. I love that aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a common theme as well, and I think we're finding that a lot of people have those friendships. Most of my friends are touch players or from the touch community. So,
yeah, that's right.
Not too many outside of that. Question 3 for you: player names. How have you dealt with tough player names to pronounce?
I'll open by apologising to anybody straight away now. I know I would have gotten names wrong. It can be hard, particularly in a tournament sense. Majority of the time for like an NTL or an NYC or something like that, I'm seeing the team sheet about 30 seconds before the game. You know, we commentate probably 10 games a day sort of thing. You're on the fly. It's pretty hard. You definitely look down, have a quick scan and go, oh, I might be in trouble with a couple of these. So, yeah, like I said, I'll apologise to anybody that I have gotten their name wrong. It's important to get it right. It is. And if there's anybody out there that knows that they've got a Field 1 game coming up or that you're on the live stream and you might have a tricky name or something, please come up and see me, flick me a message or something like that. Like, I definitely want to get names right. It's important. World Cup in 2019, and I was a late call-up for that. I only got the call probably 2 or 3 weeks prior. Didn't really know what I was walking into. And then I think one game I had Fiji versus China or something like that. And the Fijian team in particular, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, and the pronunciations, you know, C's the THs and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it can make it puts your heart rate up a little bit when you see a team sheet. But, yeah, if you can get the, like a Trans-Tasman, the last series around where, you know, you've got team lists ready, reached out to the guys at New Zealand before the games as well. They were really helpful as well, came up and gave us the pronunciation. So we definitely want to get it right. So like I said, yeah, if there's any players out there and you know, if I've got it wrong in the past, come up and let me know so we can get it right.
It's a good point. Reach out. I know that I can't say for certain that it was you, but it was World Cup. I think I was watching one of the live streams, and you had either family members or friends jumping on the YouTube comments saying, you know, it's pronounced this way.
Yeah, that helps as well. So yeah, I've done that as well before. In certain games, if you can see comments, sometimes it's hard. You're trying to watch the games and whatnot, but people have come out. I remember in Malaysia as well. I think it was before a Welsh game. One of the ladies just come up and just said, they actually looked pretty easy to pronounce, but she said, but that's not how you say them. You do it this way. And she just came out out of the crowd. She was just a parent and just said, I'll just give you a little help. That's awesome.
Oh,
that's great for us. So, yeah, more of that.
Excellent. Anyone listening, if you have a tricky name, go up and see the commentators. Help them out. Lend them a hand.
I actually feel like there's an opportunity here for feedback to any of the tournament organisers when they get players to register to maybe have a section that says, how do you phonetically pronounce your name?
That would be huge.
Because I feel like in any, not just for commentary, but just in general, you know, if tournament admin needs to speak to the manager or coach about someone or rocks up to the team, that they can actually also address the person correctly, just out of, I guess, respect, especially for those different cultures. Like if we think even with the Irish, like every time there's an Irish celebrity on a talk show and they go through and you see the name like spelt on the screen and you're looking at it going, how does that match to how you've actually pronounced it? So yeah, there's an opportunity, I guess, for tournament organisers to add that little box in.
Yeah, for sure. Probably some of the bigger tournaments as well. I know in the NRL now, a lot of the clubs will get all their players from 1 to 17, just a video and send it through. Because, like I said, we want to make sure you get it right. And a lot of, particularly those higher level games where it's, international or whatever like that, they've got their family back home at watching. They're representing their family as well. They want to hear their family name pronounced correctly. So, send it on through. We'd love to make sure we get it right.
And on that point, actually, I understand at the upcoming Queensland State Cup, there's an international team from Samoa. So, good opportunity to any of the Samoan fam out there. Get in touch with Scotty Mac and give him your pronunciation.
Please.
Let's get that right.
You'd be doing me a big favour.
Question number 4. Players you love to commentate and why? Any stand out come to mind?
Gone through like a few now, like generational. There's a new generation of players sort of coming through.
I'll get to that. Don't jump ahead.
I'll mention one player that I didn't get the opportunity to commentate to start with. Nathan Jones was probably one of my favourite players. Like growing up, he was probably just before the live stream sort of era. I love watching Nathan play. You have a look at him, and he didn't look like he could do what he could do out on that field. Big, tall, strong fella, but his ball skills were unbelievable. It's hard to just go past what some of these kids from CQ are doing at the moment. There's some players that are probably closer to you guys too that we might talk about later. I'm not too sure that I'd love to make mention of. It's freaky and scary what these kids are doing now at 12, 13, 14. Nothing like what I was doing back at that age. Their skill is unbelievable, particularly the female game as well. Like, they blow your mind. I took a bit of a step away from commentating in junior state cups for a while, not because I had a big head or anything like that, but it was just a little bit hard logistically to get there. But now I've come back to it, and I love it because it gives me an opportunity to see the next ones coming through, and now I'm seeing them coming through from like 12s, 14s into 18s into 20s, and it's good to watch progression come through. But just to watch what they're doing, it's unreal. They deserve to have coverage on live stream because of the skill that they play at. It's not just putting games on now so their parents can watch at home or their family or anything like that. It's entertaining to watch. It's good footy.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Jonesy. I've been fortunate enough to play some Origin series with him, and then more recently the Touch World Cup. And you're right. He's an unassuming looking guy, and I know that I think he has listened to this podcast. So shout out to you, Jonesy. Absolute honour to run on the field with him because even back in his day, such a well respected player, and still today, just the way he handles the ball and knows the game, his knowledge around the game, it's second to none that I've played with.
Can I give you a quick Nathan Jones story?
Absolutely.
2012.
If it's as good as the Hex story.
Yeah. It's probably just more to show what we've spoken about on him. So 2012, I just started working for Queensland Touch at the time, and we were going through a bit of strife as an organisation. There's only two of us working there, but the Origin series was down in Port Macquarie, and it was in conjunction with the NYC. So as part of the deal, I had to work with TFA and look after the Origin stuff. That all aside, game one of the series, Men's Open, probably one of the best games of footy I've ever seen, to be honest. No one gave Queensland a chance. No one really knew the players that were in the Queensland team, probably apart from Jonesy and Pete Norman at the time. But I think, if I recall it correctly, Jonesy just started his work with the police. He was just going through the academy, and he couldn't make it until halftime at best for that first game. Queensland were up to their next to it. He eventually gets there at halftime, just like Jonesy to a T, just sort of looked up, said, "What's the score?" Had a look at the score, put his boots on, went out there, Queensland win the game. He would just walk straight into the game, just controlled it in the second half. Nothing fazed him. Drove all the way from the Gold Coast up to Port Macquarie, finished the job. Queensland win the series.
Yeah,
I love him.
Classic Jonesy. It sounds like just takes control.
What a gun. Yeah, what a game. So, and the second part of your question, probably players now that I mentioned the guys from CQ. Probably the next one, I think, is he's already established himself. Harry Griffin from CQ, man. Like I was shattered when he did his knee at the Trans-Tasman Series. Great to see that the work that he put in to get himself back at the World Cup. I was probably spoke to him probably a month or two after he did his knee and just kind of said, mate, how you looking? And he goes, I'll be there. I will be there. And I no doubt he was going to be there, the work that he put in. So, but there's so many, the Bobs, guys down here as well that I want to just make it CQ central. But the talent is just unreal.
We're still trying to work out what's going on up there at CQ. There's something
in the water. And, you can't hate them because the people are so nice up there. I loved my trips when I worked in the sport. Like, they'd pick me up at the airport. Like, they'd look after you all the time. Like, there's so many good people up there. It's hard not to see how it works for them because everyone's just, they're all going in the same direction and they've just got natural talent. It's that beef. The beef up there, I think. The beef capital.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Question 5 for you. So we touched on the players now and even Harry Griffin and the Bob brothers. What about the next generation? Because you've commentated some of the guys coming through that at that junior level, some players that have stood out.
Those Richter kids, man, they're something else. Even just the All Schools. I went down and commentated the All Schools, and they played for their school, and because at that level, sometimes like those good players, they'll just play within their means and they'll just go back and it was a finals match that they played in, but they just absolutely dominated and they carved. And I think it might be Isaac or that played for Storm this year as well in Metro Cup, commentated a couple of his games, and that first season I'd probably say for him in men's premier is going to put him in good stead. He just had some really good moments. And there was a game at the Youth Trends Tasman Series. I'm not sure if that's a question you want to talk about later on, but holy hell, that really put them on the map. And they go to a World Cup and play mixed open, like no dramas. And they're special, those two kids.
I think that was Jacob. That played
Jacob played Premier
League.
There might have been. Apologies to Jacob, but Isaac's good
right
too.
behind him. Yeah.
Oh, he's
He's
good
not far.
too. Yeah. And the Chadburns as well, and there's a lot of special players within that mix. In the female game as well, like the girls, I think seem to make their way a little bit quicker than some of the guys, like, around that 14, 15, 16. The Nicola sisters in the Storm system, they're unreal as well. That Storm team at the moment, that they've got pretty special. The women's grand final, we talked about the men's in the Metro Cup, the women's grand final. I'm probably looking forward to that more.
Yeah, that'll be a good watch.
That's going to be something else. The Storm have been unreal this year. I don't think they've had a loss either. And then you got the Rebels going for 4 in a row. Man, that's going to be something else. And I think the Rebels are on like 4 or 5 in a row coming into the finals. So, and they've just got Australian players coming out of their backside. So
superstars across the park in that grand final. It's going to be really, really good. Watch.
So the female games just is going from strength to strength at the moment, and I think it's a credit. And you're seeing now the transition. There's a genuine pathway now for players to stay in the sport, but the pathway and the partnership with the NRL is through the NRLW. I think the players that we've gone through, like the Uptons, Taryn Aiken and everything like that, like they've all come through, and there's an opportunity for these girls to do the same if they want, but if not, just keep playing touch. Yeah. Because they're playing it so good.
They are. You're right. You touched on it before. The talent of these kids, 14, 15, 16, into 18s, just blows me away.
They're throwing long balls from the middle of the field and hitting wingers out on the chest, but like the footwork, and I like that there's a bit of hard work element coming back into it. Like it felt like there was a real, everyone wanted to play this static game, quick and short to the line now, but like for me, I'm a bit of an older head because this is the role that I used to play because I never did the flashy stuff. I love seeing touch 1, 2 and 3. Who's putting their head down and getting them going forward to start with now? And that's where you start your sets and let those great players finish it off. That's awesome. But there's a lot of more like running coming back into it now, and a bit more physical touch footy as well, which is that's the footy I love to watch.
Yeah. And I have to say, the players that are coming through, and talking about the Richter boys, just because I had a little bit to do with the Philippines Mixed Open team, helping them prepare for the World Cup. I can't speak to the females that you mentioned, the juniors coming through, but they just listen. And they're willing to take on any feedback, and they're not afraid to roll up the sleeves and do the hard stuff either.
Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of coaches that have mostly coached in the female game. They just say the girls just get it. And they listen better, and they pick it up quicker as well. You know, Kimmy, you're one of them, of course, right? You can comment on that. Yeah, but
they're just better listeners.
They're better
Females
listeners.
in general, yeah. Last question for you, question 6 in the set of 6 touch-related questions. Queensland State Cup coming up. Before we get to that, actually, Metro Cup, tips, men's and women's. Who you back? We've said the Muddies. What's the score going to be? This will come out post, so we'll see if you're correct.
So in the men's, Rebels, Redlands. Gee, if I go against Redlands, they're going to carve me up. I'll say Redlands win 5-4. Yep.
Okay. And the females?
In full time or extra time drop
Good
off?
Point.
I reckon it'll go to a drop off. Yeah. Yep.
Who's scoring the winning try?
I think that's a good question. I was going to say I didn't see their semi-final, but Corey Russell came back into it, and I reckon he would have had a heavy hand in it. I don't think he'll score the final try, but I reckon he'll set it up.
Okay, fair enough. Good call. We'll see if you were correct. Men's.
Women's?
Sorry, the women's. Yes, we've just touched on the men.
This is going to go to extra time as well. I'm going to go for the Storm this year. I think they've had too good of a year. It's almost been the perfect year, but also sometimes that makes me nervous. I always hated that, not that it happens to me too often, but when you have those seasons where you just haven't had a loss coming into a final. But I like the way they actually had a draw in their last round against Colts, I think it was. Then they played them again in the semis and they beat them 9-3. They made a statement in that one. But Rebels, oh my God. It's hard to tip against them. Rebels have knocked them off in the last 2 grand finals. I think the Storm, this is their time. I
Yeah.
think they might get it this time.
Redlands, Storm.
Redlands Storm.
There you
I
go.
could be wrong on both. I could be wrong.
Did we get
because
a
it's a
score
flip.
prediction on the women's?
I reckon it'll be a little bit higher scoring. Just doing a bit of research on the game this week. The Storm are averaging about 6 tries a game, and their defence has actually been really good. They're only been leaking into about 2, but I think the Rebels will get a little bit more. I'm going to say 8-7. Extra time.
Player of the final.
Tiani Bryce.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
In a losing team.
Oh,
It happens.
yes.
It does happen. No, I'm just
You're going
saying.
back out now.
I forgot
saying,
about
though.
that.
But yeah.
Oh, that's how close it is. I forgot that I tipped the Storm. Let me go back. If the Storm win, Charlie Nicola. If Rebels win, Tiani Bryce.
Okay, good cover. And question 6B, Queensland State Cup, men's and women's predictions. I've got the team lists in front of me in case you don't know off the top of your head.
Yeah. This is going. It's good to see that there's more teams are starting to enter the Queensland State Cup. Again, it's like Rebels and the women. How can you go against Rockhampton?
Yeah.
Man, I think they're going for like 5 in a row or something like that. But until they have some sort of mass exit and players and like the next crop aren't coming through, but that's the thing. They seem to drop maybe 2 or 3 players every state cup and then they just fill them in.
Someone else, yeah.
Somebody else comes up. I can't tip against Rockhampton. And in the women's, well, Mustang, yeah, so you got Mustangs, which will be the Storm.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Rebels there. I'm predicting they come up against each other in the grand final again. I don't. So if I'm going for Storm in Metro Cup, I'll go for Rebels at State Cup.
Okay, all right.
Okay, you can't split them. Can't split them.
There's one more list there for you.
Oh, yeah.
Men's 30s.
Men's 30s, who
All
cares?
right. Come on.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Rebels, don't give them any chance. No, do you know what? I love watching men's 30s. It's still just that like one step behind Premier. Like everyone's for most teams.
We're a little bit behind. I feel like I'm well behind, 3 or 4 steps behind. But
It's really entertaining to watch. And good teams here. Bundy, Gold Coast, Redlands, Rocky. Rebels are always going to be strong. Good to see Bundy. Hopefully they've got a fairly strong team as well. Depends. I haven't seen the team list as well to know who's lining up maybe for Gold Coast when you get a couple of those guys that are like, I'm just going to go and have a little bit more fun. They probably could still play Premier level footy, but they come back. Let's go Rebels, hey?
thank you. Thank you. I'm in that
Don't
side,
let
by
me
the way,
down.
too. So
I had a feeling you
we'll do
might
our
have been.
best. No, well, Gold Coast, I'll just say quickly on that one, Gold Coast did come over the top of Rebels. I wasn't playing last year Queensland State Cup with the 30s boys. Regretted it because I really should have ran with the boys, with the mates. But they did go down after leading quite handsomely at half time. So I think most of them that are coming back are out for revenge.
And it's a different ball game for State Cup, isn't it? With like the shorter time
Yeah.
format as well. So teams that Metro Cup or anything like that might be strong over 40 and can overrun teams towards the back end. You got to go 100 miles an hour straight from the tap off at a State Cup, and games have been won and lost in those sort of 25-minute time slots with just not having enough time at the back end. So it's a different ball game.
Yeah. So we've got Rocky, UQ Rebels.
Yep.
And Rebels,
Rebels,
in the 30s.
yeah.
All right, let's
No
see.
pressure.
We'll try and get this out actually before State Cup because I want to see if those predictions are correct. Thank you, Scotty. Well done. Set of 6. Over to Kimmy for Kimmy's Corner.
All right, so I always try and come up with something different, like a different theme for
Yes.
my fun questions.
Yes.
I'm not going to make you sing. Don't worry, I had to think about it.
Good.
I thought maybe I can chuck finish these lyrics. But
Yeah, right.
We've gone for some fun questions, so don't be too stressed out. The first one is, what's the most basic thing about you?
I look pretty basic. Gee whiz, that's a good question. Well, I'll go off that. The way I look, I shop exclusively at Kmart. Won't spend
Nothing wrong with
nothing wrong with that. And when I say I shop, my wife buys everything for me. I haven't bought any clothes myself, but I'm not spending, what these kids are doing these days, all the fancy clothes and all that sort of stuff. Kmart catalog exclusive. That's me to a T.
I would highly recommend Facebook Marketplace.
Oh yeah, right. What,
for a
second-hand clothes
bargain.
or
Yeah, look, sometimes people will buy things and they can't return it. So it could be
Yeah.
brand new in the box with the tag on and it's like half price and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll buy. I bought a pair of $250 shoes for $50.
There you go.
And when I went to pick it up from this guy, I was like, 50, like, are you sure? And he goes, yep. And I'm like, bang.
Wow.
Scored. Can't even get that on sale. Anyway.
Well, Marketplace, though, because my wife sells stuff as well, but like I have to be the one to go to the door because she's like, this guy could be a creep, you know? So I'm like, all right, I'll deal with the creep. The haggling as well. Like she's selling like something for $15 and old mate's like, oh, I'll give you $12.50. I'm like, mate, it's $15, even the $15.
I know. That's you do get some weirdos on Facebook Marketplace. My sister did get scammed by she told me about it and I was like, God, that's just dumb. You never pay a deposit. Sis, come on. Anyway.
Another story.
Next question. What's the most embarrassing song you unironically love?
I've got a little bit of Harry Styles in my playlist. Okay. Yeah, just a couple of songs. And when we're talking about singing in the car, I'm more of a rock genre. So, yeah, but I'm open to most things. But, there's a bit of Harry Styles in there. There's probably some pretty rank songs from back in the 90s, I reckon, and 80s as well.
So I reckon you're that dad that when your kids are that age, you'd be putting your hand up to take them to that pop concert.
Yeah, I think so. But I'll be embarrassing. I'll be embarrassing for them as well. I get into some of the kids' songs as well. My daughter's watched like the second Trolls movie non-stop. It's got Timberlake in it. Justin Timberlake. He's done all the music. The songs are good, man. They're good. Yeah. But like we go to daycare, we're like, let's put Trolls song on Spotify. We just get into it.
Actually, back at in Sydney, I'm with the Mighty West Club, and one of the girls in our team. Kids sometimes come to our training and we have a playlist going on. There was one training I asked her, what song do you want? I actually can't remember what it's called, but it was from Trolls or one of those movies. And it actually, it slapped. I was like, we might have to actually add this to the team playlist.
My 1 or 2 coming out. Stay tuned.
Can't wait. Are you a drinker?
Yes, guilty.
So that wasn't my question, but you've answered it anyway.
It felt like an intervention instead of an interview.
What kind of drunk are you?
I have calmed down my ways significantly. I had, and my wife she might listen to this. There was one big night for me where I decided enough is enough. And that was probably about 10 or 15 years ago. And I very much enjoy a beer, but I'm not waking up with headaches anymore, particularly with 3 kids, 5 and under. Yeah. Goodness gracious. It just can't happen. Yeah. But no, I do enjoy beer. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So would you say you're because for me, when I've had a few bevies, I become like, I love everyone.
Yeah. I'm probably, just take it up another couple of notches, I reckon. Probably a bit more of a pest. A bit more chatty. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. I think I'm fun to be on the drink with. I'm not one of the ones that get a little bit sad, with certain drinks and stuff like that. It enhances the mood. Definitely.
I agree. What about you, Cess?
Similar. I think I'm a bit of a pest.
Yeah.
But it's just depends. I think I sort of mellow out if it's a group that I'm not too familiar with, but when we're around the fam, then it's game on.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we should have a podcast Christmas party and just invite everyone along, and we'll just see what everyone.
It could get very loose.
Yeah,
Millsy.
Anyway. Yeah, Millsy would be good.
Not paying for anything.
Yeah. Corey Russell's probably one of the worst on the drink that I've been around in terms of touch football circles. There was a State of Origin series, and they had the after function, in Queensland, New South Wales. So it was always dangerous getting together. It was up at Caloundra, and it was at a tavern, and there was $3 basic spirits, and everyone's just hooking in. So I'm trying to get my way through all these presentations, player of the whatever, and he's 30 centimetres in front of me just screaming, "Give me a shout out." And I just wouldn't do it. He goes, "You're a dog, Scotty." Just off he went. So that's probably one of the tamest ones. He's a fun one, but he's a pest.
I can actually picture it.
Yep.
Oh, dear. All right. We might have to get him on so we can invite him to the Christmas party.
He'll be there for that.
All right. What's your go-to depression meal? Like when you're having a bad day and you just need to get that meal in.
Dirty Bird, Zinger Box, KFC. Not even when I'm like depressed, when I'm happy, when I'm over the moon. That's my Friday night Metro Cup post meal on the way home, zing, straight in.
Yeah.
But sometimes because it's like 9:30, 9:45, you get through and I'm just exclusive to the Zinger box and they go, oh, sorry, we're out of Zinger burgers or whatever. It's just the worst. Then I'm down. Then I'm in the dumps, right?
Come on, Casey.
So, but no, I'm exclusive to the bird.
Yep. All right. What's the most unhinged thing you've done this year?
Unhinged. My life's pretty plain and simple these days. Ooh. Gee whiz. Nothing's really springing to mind. I have a very boring life at the moment. Unhinged. Well, this probably doesn't really answer all their question all that well. My daughter's actually just started playing touch. She's under sixes. She's 5, and I haven't coached for a long time. And I'm coaching an under 6 team, and it is extremely challenging. It's probably one of the hardest things I've had to do. It's probably not so much unhinged, more challenging. Just because I can't think of another example, but. Let's just say training sessions and game days are, it's lucky I don't have any hair already, but if I did, the rest of it would be gone.
I was about to say, it's humbling, isn't it? When you
it
have
is.
to do like the attention span, one of the best things I got told when I started coaching like juniors was you got to remember the age that they are, it's the number of seconds that they'll pay attention to you.
Yeah, yep.
So when you're explaining things, you got to make it fun and interactive. Otherwise,
they're gone.
5 seconds, gone.
Yeah.
They're off with the fairies.
Yep.
All right. Next one. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
Oh. So my last name is MacAllister. This is embarrassing. I have my last name tattooed across my shoulders. And I was over in Scotland, and I had been drinking at the time, and it was a bit of a bet with a mate. And anyway, so I said I'd go and get it done, and the guy mocked it up on his computer, but it said McVuster and not MacAllister. And for a split second there, I was like, that sounds mad. Scotty MacAllister sounds pretty cool. But I didn't go with it in the end. But, I like the old, there's Simpsons. I was a bit of a Simpsons watcher growing up, and Homer changed his name to Max Power. I love that
You
one.
guys said that together in unison.
I knew where you were going straight away.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
That's elite.
All right, I got a couple left for you. What's the worst condiment?
This might be controversial. I don't rate tomato sauce. I am barbecue. There is nothing that I can think of that I would put tomato sauce on. I would dip a chip in there if there was the only thing that it would be there. But my wife also has, and I think someone might have brought it up in one of your other episodes, maybe, could be wrong, or a different podcast. I'll listen to a few. She has mayonnaise with chicken, like schnitzels. She dips her chicken schnitzel with mayonnaise. It's not the worst, but I'm not going for mayonnaise on a schnitzel.
It depends on the mayonnaise, though.
I can see how that would.
Like if it's a proper homemade one or a Kewpie, Kewpie mayo slaps.
Yeah, yep. But
What about on a pie? So you're having barbecue sauce.
do you know this? Now you're starting to really uncover a lot of things with me. I go no sauce on pies. The hero is inside the pie, not what's on top of it.
You know what? If the pastry is like really well baked and it's like that buttery flakiness, then I can understand. But when you've got like one that's been sitting in the pie oven,
Yeah. If I'm getting
and
one
it's
from
not,
like a 7-Eleven
you
that's
need to
been in there
sauce
for a
it.
couple of days, yeah. But no, I'm anti-sauce on the pie.
Oh, here's the thing, like I'm tomato sauce, like all the way. Don't even say, but on what? On everything.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
do barbecue sauce. Anyway, I was at the Vaughton Cup semi-finals the other weekend and I just needed a little filler, and they had these two little, not great looking pies, and I was like, stuff it, I'll just get one. Do you have tomato sauce? No, we only have barbecue sauce. And I stood there looking at this pie going, can I have you without sauce? And the answer was no. It was that pasty and
Yeah.
whatever that I had to like chuck the barbecue sauce on it and just try and pretend it was tomato sauce.
So I'm anti-tomato, but I'm hard on sriracha.
Oh,
I'm going on sriracha for everything now.
different conversation.
Yeah.
right there.
Yep, I just had to throw that in. Respect to sriracha.
I'm still stuck on the pileless sauce. But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
move on.
I also
Alright.
like a chicken and veg pie. That's controversial too. So I could talk about pies for ages.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is well, the sauce debate. It's actually a good one. It's sometimes how I'll split a team. Like when you have to split the team into two, and you go tomato sauce on this side, barbecue sauce on that side.
Sauce in the fridge or pantry?
Pantry.
Oh, mine's in the fridge.
Pantry exclusive.
Yeah.
Sorry, move on.
Also,
we could
yeah,
keep
look
going
at
for ages.
Pie and sauce. Let's go.
Okay, last question. If you could start a rumor about yourself, what would it be?
Oh, gee whiz, these are good questions. I was going to say something like, how much of a legend I am, but I think most people already know that. No. Maybe that I was a better touch football player than what I actually was. There's not too many people that probably actually did see me play, which is good, apart from down in the backfields of Redlands. So, yeah, maybe if there was some people that are like, oh, yeah, that guy that commentates, he was a mad player back in the
gun.
day.
We actually could have started those
Gun.
rumors
We
on
could.
the podcast. Like, there's no video footage. As
Exactly.
You said.
There was no live streaming,
streams.
thank God. No one would have been interested in a C-grade men's final down at Redlands on
Hey,
field 8.
we can edit out that intro. The
Yeah.
break.
I think we should. That's the end of my
Oh.
questions.
Oh, good work.
So
You
it's about-
got through the first two segments. Now's the fun part of the podcast of games. Let's make these phone calls. So the first one, this could absolutely dive and finish off very quickly, but let's see how we go. So I've asked you both, and Scotty, you'll know as a listener to the podcast, the reason we play these games. Why? Actually, I'll tell you the first game, and then you can think about your strategy while I
Right.
tell everyone else. So there's a trend going around at the moment where sometimes couples, sometimes it'll be a daughter or son to their parent, adding the words "da fuck" to the end of a question or a sentence. So, example, Kimmy, are you coming to the Queensland State Cup? Da fuck. And then you'll keep on the conversation. So your goal with these people that you're going to call, they're not going to know, obviously, that we're calling about the podcast, is to get as many of those out at the end of a sentence as possible.
So we're holding a normal conversation.
Normal conversation and just adding "da
Okay.
fuck" at the
Right.
end of each one.
Awesome.
As I said, this could completely dive. So while you're having a quick think, Kimmy, you can go first as
Does
the
that
leader.
include even like saying hello?
No. We'll allow the hello and then working into conversation after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
while you're having a quick think, the reason Scotty knows this, the reason we play the games is the loser at the end of this first season, still to be determined, is jumping out of a plane and skydiving. Current score is Kimmy is up 11-9 thanks to saldo, and Heck got one back for me. So 11-9, 2 ahead. Scotty, you're playing for me today. I had you pick between San Francisco or Toronto, and you
Yep.
picked San Francisco.
Yep.
Any reason around it? Just because?
Been to both. Just probably love San Francisco more as a city. Yeah, great city to go to.
What if I said, and the reason I didn't give you this because I'm assuming you like being a sports lover,
Yeah.
basketball,
Yep.
Warriors or Raptors?
Oh, do you know what? I probably would have gone Raptors back in the day because they were a bit more of an underdog, and there was the Curry, the Durant sort of, and
Yeah.
But now that it's just Curry by himself and they're going really good again, I'm back on the Warriors.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm glad I didn't give you that. So you've picked San Francisco, which Kimmy had as her nephew's team.
Yeah.
And my team's the Toronto Raptors. So you're playing against Kimmy for me today. So
Gotcha.
go your hardest. Kimmy, over to you.
I
Your
just
phone call.
got nervous. I don't know if
I
if you
don't know
watch
how
it.
I'm going to do this.
I feel like
I
you
can
can
see your
my
face.
because it's okay. The person I'm calling is back in Sydney. It's like 9:10.
Yeah.
And I messaged a couple people this morning. Shout out for not replying to my messages. All of you, I will not name you, but anyways, I'll tag you in some comments. So I was like, oh, who haven't I spoken to in a bit? And it's Her name's Tatum Bird. She used to play touch. She still plays touch, but she's gone down the avenue of playing. She's transitioned into rugby 15s and is part of the sevens program as well. And I had the pleasure of coaching her for uni games. Anyway, we catch up for coffees every now and then and whatnot. So now I'm just like, why am I calling her at 9:15 p.m. on a Thursday night?
Totally acceptable, by the way. I'm a bit of a night bird.
I've got to think of like, what am I going to talk to? Because I've got to try and keep her on the phone.
Yes.
For as long as possible. Oh, and now this is my other friend, Sian Filippo, Sis. I'm like, can you take a call at 9 p.m? And now she's calling me. So
Just put her in.
Let's just go. Yeah.
oh, hold on,
Speak up.
Sis.
Hello. Sorry, I didn't reply to your message.
You did not reply to my message. Da fuck.
I know. I was at a dinner.
Dinner with who? Da fuck.
Oh, the girls.
The girls? Da fuck.
Are you doing that fucking TikTok?
What TikTok? Da fuck. This is the problem with calling people who are in the trend. Da fuck.
Hold on a minute.
Well
I
done.
know this.
Oh.
I was laughing at a couple doing this, and the husband was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, I'm just going to let you know, you know how I'm doing this podcast, the Touch and Rice podcast. You're actually live on it right now. And I messaged you before, and I actually just said, thanks to everyone who didn't reply to my messages. You were one of them, because I thought, oh, Sis would be actually really cool to have on, because I reckon she'd help me out. But now it's like blown up in my face, because obviously you know all these trends. Oh. Anyway, say hello to everyone, Sis.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Well done on picking up on the trend. That's good for me.
Oh, anyways, so basically I'm competing against our guest, Scotty Mac, the voice of touch. So he's going to call his mate, who probably has no idea about this, to fuck trend.
No idea.
But yeah, for all the listeners, just so you know, Sis was like player of the final at the Fijian Cup. Look her up on the highlights. Intercept of the tournament.
Please don't. Please don't.
I'll try and share it maybe in our highlights reel from this podcast. Sorry, love you, Sis.
You'll just see me puffing. That's all you're going to see.
Anyways, I'll give you a buzz after I finish, because I do want to actually chat and say hi properly.
Very soon.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
All right, well, I've got my other mate, Tatum, who's like expecting a phone call from me. I
Just-
feel like...
Maybe message her and say, we'll move on to
Yeah.
Scotty.
Sniping. Oh, geez,
Well,
I'm nervous.
I think you got a few out there. I lost
How
count,
many
but
did you count? I think I got only like 4 or something.
I got 3, but I can listen back. I
No,
think it was 3, because the last one she called on to you, and then
Is this that TikTok?
yes.
Yeah.
So Scotty, who are we calling?
I'm going to call former Australian Men's Open player and current or newly appointed Australian Men's Mixed 20s coach, Adam Pride.
Now, is this in your vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, for me it is.
Yeah.
Pridey not.
Okay.
I wouldn't say so. Pride is Mr. Teflon.
Okay.
You know, he's Mr. Clean Skin. Yeah, he's going to wonder what I'm doing. Can I just say, so the first person I actually messaged, and it would have been more interesting if this one came up, I actually messaged TFA CEO Jamie O'Connor. He was going to do it, but he's in New Zealand. That would have been entertaining. I'm not saying Pridey won't be. We'll see how we go, eh?
All right. Best of luck.
All right. Jeez, I don't even know what I'm going to say to this. He's also going to be the same. Like, why are you calling me for?
That's the hardest thing, is when you like message people. I was like, oh, because usually I just call
Because
people.
no one calls these days.
I
as
do.
well.
No, exactly.
Big dog.
Hey, Pride, what's going on?
I just living the dream, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, mate, doing well. State Cup next weekend. What's going on?
Yeah, bit of coaching this time, something different.
The fuck's that about?
Oh, if you get out before you're pushed from that playing gear.
Yeah, you probably played a couple of years too long, don't you think? The fuck?
A couple of years, I think you've been kind, probably half a decade, but yeah, more.
And you think your coaching's going to be any better than your playing? Fuck's that about?
Well, the bar's low with the playing, so the coaching can only be up from there, can't it?
2019, do you remember at World Cup, I was commentating, I did the final, but you had to sit out. You didn't get to play. The fuck's that about?
I quickly put the playing gear on, though, to make it look like I did. But thanks for noticing.
I've got not much else to say. That's it. We've got to give you up on the stitch up, mate. I'm not too sure. How'd my score go?
We'll talk about it. Let Pridey in on that.
So you're on the Touch and Rice podcast, Pridey. There's a little bit of a game going on. I need to apologise straight away. You know I'd never swear to you like that. That's not how I speak. I'm a professional with my words and whatnot, of course.
I like it. It's a bold move. I will say one thing. The last time my name was mentioned on a podcast, I'm pretty sure C. Russell said, if I had to call someone and I was certain they wouldn't pick up to win $1 million, I would call Adam Pride. So
there you go.
Calling me.
Yeah, there you go. Got him on.
Well
nice
done,
one.
Scotty. You've won the $1 million. Surprise.
Beautiful.
Happy days.
Thanks, Pridey.
All right, enjoy.
I reckon there's a duo there. We get Corey Russell and Adam Pride on here together for a face-off.
Quite the combination, the yin and the yang,
Yeah.
those two. But good footy players, gee whiz.
Now, Kimmy, throw over to you. It was a little bit. So what I will say, Scotty, is you probably smoothed over the fucks that about compared to Kimmy's very blunt to fuck.
In all fairness, I have seen the trend, so
Yes.
I know you literally have to say a sentence and just put
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, you can't say with the about on the back end of it.
Yeah, but
see, I'm so old now that I don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know what these kids are doing on it. I'm so old, so I apologise to all the cool trendy kids. I didn't do your trend the right way, but we tried.
We might call that a draw. 'Cause I think, in all fairness, we'll call that a draw. So no points earned for either of you, but very well done, both of you respectively. Kimmy, that was on the fly, so good work. And Scotty,
it worked out better for me because I could be like, you didn't reply to my message.
Yeah, you got to lead in straight away.
Yeah. So well done to the both of you. And Scotty, I'm sure you won't be dropping any of those in commentary coming up.
Hope not.
Game 2. Let's go. So we are in schoolies season.
Oh, God.
Oh.
So I've got a pen and a paper for you. We're going back to school. Shout out to all the Year 12s down at the Gold Coast enjoying the schoolies festivities at the moment. Drink responsibly, absolutely. Now, grade 12, what are some questions they would have received in their exams? So we're taking you back there. I've got some different questions from different subjects they would have come up against to finish grade 12 in the end of the year. So just basic quiz up against 1v1. Let's see who can get the most right. So we're headed to science first. Question number 1. Play along at home, of course. What is the atomic number of oxygen?
Please.
Just write a number down.
Oh, a number? I thought there was a letter involved.
No, this is a number. There's a number, apparently.
Atomic number of oxygen. We're just...
Okay, where do we go? Kimmy?
I've just, for no reason, written 20.
Okay, Scotty?
Well, I thought it was 02, so I'll go with 2.
2, okay. It's not closest to the number, unfortunately, for you both. The atomic number of oxygen is 8.
Oh, I was going to say 9 just because it's my favourite number and I still would have been wrong. But anyway.
They're both wrong there. Still in science, question number 2. What is the most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere?
In the Earth's atmosphere. God.
Both got an answer? Scotty, what did you go?
Hydrogen?
Kimmy?
Oh, carbon dioxide.
Incorrect. Both of you.
Don't say oxygen.
Nitrogen.
Oh.
Correct answer there. No points. Question number 3. Don't worry, I've got a fall safe if we answer no to you can get any of these right.
School was different back in the 90s.
Oh, man.
That was a long
I used
time
to play
ago.
sport and have fun. Who gives a crap about this stuff?
Question number 3. What is the pH of a neutral solution at 25 degrees Celsius? We're after a number.
I don't understand anything of what you just said.
The pH level, so just a number, just give me a number, that's all you have to know, of a neutral solution at 25 degrees Celsius.
Is this a swimming pool question?
Possibly.
A neutral solution.
Just a number between 1 and 20.
Oh, okay. I've gone really low.
So did I.
I said 2.
I said 4.
Oh, close, but no cigar. 7. Let's move subjects. Thankfully. English and language.
Oh, God.
Apologies to all the school teachers out there.
There are a lot of school teachers
I
in
know.
touch. I know
my
we've
wife's a
talked on this
teacher.
before.
Yeah, my
Oh,
wife's a
that's
teacher
what-
too.
Would she know these?
Nah, science is not her background.
Okay.
This one here
This
is
one? All right.
her. Yeah.
All right, here you go. We're playing in your... Remember, you play for me, so let's...
Yeah, sorry, mate.
In grammar, what part of speech describes a noun?
I don't even understand that question.
I still get confused with nouns and verbs and all sorts of stuff. What part of the speech? The start of it?
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
I
You
don't
nothing?
even understand
Okay.
the actual question.
Adjective. An adjective describes a noun.
Right,
Describing
okay.
word. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Next question. 0-all.
Thanks for the reminder.
What? Okay, this one's... I think one of you can get this. What is the past tense of go?
Yep.
Kimmy?
Gone.
No.
Past tense of going.
No. Went.
Oh. Okay.
Next one. Identify the main verb in this sentence. She quickly ran to the store. She quickly ran to the store.
Sorry, what was it? The verb?
Yes. Which word is the verb?
You know what's funny about this conversation? I can't remember with who it was, and we were talking about verbs and nouns. And I've just completely confused myself. Can you say the sentence again?
She quickly ran to the store.
Okay.
So it's not to or the. So you've got she quickly ran to the store. Okay. What did you go?
I still don't know what a noun and a verb is.
I've written mine down, so you go first.
I'll say ran.
I said quickly.
Scotty's on the board. Ran is the...
I know. I was just joking. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I didn't get a C- in English for nothing.
Wife will be very proud, Scotty.
Oh, yeah.
Well
she's
done.
going to be super proud.
1-0 up. All right. Let's move to history and geography.
Oh.
In what year did Australia become a federation?
Oh, no. I get confused by all of the years. I did not pay any attention. I apologise to my history teachers.
I'm going to say 1902.
Kimmy.
I feel like there was a 78 in there somewhere. I don't know which century.
Just 78? Okay.
Yeah.
1901.
Oh.
Missed it by that much, but unfortunately no points.
Jeez.
Next question. Who was the first Prime Minister of Australia?
Oh,
Scotty's
geez.
nodding.
No. What question is this? Just so I can write
Question
down.
8.
The first Prime Minister. I feel like you're going to say it. I need to
No,
write it
I'm going to
down.
have a guess.
I'm just
a
going to
guess
write
at one.
Who have you got, Kimmy? Who do you think?
Well, he's not written it down, so he can write. I can show you.
Okay, Scotty, you go first. Who-
Sir Robert Menzies.
Oh, yeah, no. This is literally the one. I don't even want to say it because
Say it.
it's embarrassing because it's
No.
wrong. It's Harold Holt.
No,
He was a Prime Minister.
I know. Not.
I don't think I'm right
not
either.
both wrong.
No.
Sir Edmund Barton.
Yeah. No, I would have never got
First
that.
President of the United States. This isn't a question, but
Oh.
Oh, the earliest one I remember is Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I
George
agree.
Washington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I think most people knew that over the first Prime Minister of Australia when they did a survey yonks ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, question 9, still 1-0. What is the longest river in the world?
Oh, I do know this one. I feel like I do know this one.
Okay, Kimmy's written it down. Scotty?
I was going to go with the Nile.
I actually wrote that down and then I rethought that it's the Amazon River.
It is, in fact, the Nile.
Look at that. I wrote it down and as you
And
said
crossed
it,
it
I was-
out. The Nile
Always
in
go
the
with your
Amazon.
first.
Yes.
Yes. Let's move to technologies. Question number 10. What does the acronym IP stand for in computer networking? All the kids will know this. I'm sure your friends you were going to call Kimmy would have known this.
Yeah, no. I don't
Any
think
idea?
so.
This is a tough one.
IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any idea? Blanks?
I'll have a stab in the dark. It's not right. Interface protocol.
I would have gone with like internet, something like it's not password. Could have been internet protocol, but internet password is what
If you would have combined powers there, internet protocol is the answer.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll both.
I feel like
When
I
I say
said that.
interface, what's an interface?
Internet-
Literally the internet.
Internet protocol would have
Yeah.
got
Half
the other
points.
points there. Still, it'd be 2.5 to half. So let's say 2-0. Question 11: which programming language is most commonly used for web development on the client side? If that makes any sense at all.
No.
No. So any stabs in the dark? No. JavaScript. Okay, so this is my fallback that I had just in case. We've got 2 points on the board. So here's a multi-choice. What does the French word biblioteca mean in English? Speaking of pronunciation, I apologise to any French listeners if that was wrong. Biblioteca mean in English? Is it A, library, B, bookstore, C, museum, or D, school?
So those options again.
Biblioteca, library, bookstore, museum, school.
I'd go with one of the first two. I
Yeah.
don't know why. I'll just say library.
Well, I'll just go something different with bookstore.
Library is correct there. French, so 2-1. Question 13. Which of the following is a famous Spanish painter? Leonardo da Vinci, Pablo Picasso, Claude Monet, or Vincent van Gogh? Spanish painter.
Picasso. Picasso.
Yeah. I'd have to agree because I think I have read that. Yep.
That is correct. 3-2. Yes. Question 14. 2 more to go. In Japanese, which word means cat? Inu, neko, tori, usagi. It's Japanese word for cat. Inu, neko, tori, usagi.
Never spoken a lick of Japanese in my life. I'm just going to get on the front foot and say Inu because it was the first one and that's the one I can remember.
I'll go with the second one. It's a guess.
Neko is correct. The second one.
Wow.
So
late
we
charge.
I'm buying a
are
lotto ticket.
we are at 3-3.
Goodness.
Here's the tiebreaker. Which German, either of you study German?
No.
Okay.
I did a little bit in primary school.
here we go.
Primary school.
Which German word means river? Fluss, Berg, See, Strab.
Don't remember any of those.
River.
River.
I'm going to go with the first one. Fluss.
Fluss. I can't remember the other ones. I'll say whatever the third option is.
So we've got
C.
Fluss, Berg, See, Strab.
C.
See?
C.
So C, incorrect. Kimmy's got that.
Hey,
Fluss.
that's a
So,
fluke.
That's 4-3. When you've come over the top, aka the Gold Coast 30s team over the UQ
Yeah.
Rebels last year at the Queensland State Cup.
I was up the Fluss without a paddle.
Scotty, the fuck.
Fuck, man.
You're up. Well, Kimmy, you're in the lead now. One more, so I think three ahead.
Yeah.
Well done in the game, Scotty.
Yeah.
You did your best.
Yeah.
You did your best.
Yep. I'll stick to commentating.
Yes, please. that'd be great. On to the next part.
Can
of
I
the
just
podcast.
say, I think we've just discovered, do not invite either one of us to trivia.
No.
that was tough. Like year 12.
Yeah. They're really teaching kids that stuff?
Apparently.
Come on, man.
Apparently.
Get them some life skills.
That's true. Kimmy, shout out. We don't have Sensei today.
So, last week's episode was with the two Lukes, and I chucked up a reel and it actually got some good engagement on it, and it was about referee sledging, as in sledging a referee, but also the two of them sledging each other, particularly Saldo sledging Heck on him being a tight ass. Anyway, Riley Sawyer, he's one of the legends back in the day. He used to work at New South Wales Touch, knows everything about everything. He's
Legend.
the guy that you want here for trivia because he just remembers absolutely everything. Anyway, his comment was actually quite funny. He wrote, "Hoffley, mate, you're not going to let that one slide. Surely not. That's a major claim by El Saldern. Hoffley, short arms, deep pockets." Saldo replies to him and he says, "Riley, some call him the T-Rex. Arms can't reach the pocket." So shout out to Riley for jumping on and joining in on the sledging because, that was actually a lot of fun to make that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of sledging, surely, and it's just a reminder for everyone, jump on the socials and follow us and engage in those posts that Kimmy works hard on. Surely we're hearing some sledging about the pie, no sauce situation.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to cop it about that.
Surely.
That.
Let's see it on the next post. Previous guest question, speaking of the Lukes, question for all of us. I forget which one this was. I think this was Saldo. What has your interaction... No, this was Heck, actually. What has your interaction with referees been like? Any funny moments?
Yeah. I'll go back to playing days. I did throw a little bit of chat in a game once and was told rightfully to go down the other end. Actually, before that even happened, I think we had like 6 players and, we were just up against it and we were just getting what I thought was some pretty rough calls or whatever. And I wasn't, over the top or whatever, but I threw a little bit of chat. It was local park footy. I think, I can't remember, it might have been Matty Lavery or someone like that down at Redlands. And I said, look, I'll do you a favour and I'll send myself. And I just started walking and he goes, Scotty, come back. And I said, nah, it's all good, mate. I'll just go down the other end. I probably need take a bit of cooling. He goes, no, Scotty, come back. And I said, nah, it's all good. And he goes, no, you're going the wrong way. You're supposed to go down the other end. So he got me on that one. Apart from that, in terms of commentary and stuff like that, haven't had, because it can be a delicate space as well. You got to call sometimes what you see, but you don't want to be overcritical. The referees do a great job in our sport, particularly with the pace of these Premier level games and everything like that. But I think there was probably my first Origin series. There was a bit of a controversial moment, and I was probably new to commentating at that stage. I don't think I was being overcritical, and I won't mention who the referee was or anything. It wasn't anything too over the top, but I happened to be standing next to them the next day, and they just kind of turned their shoulder to me a little bit, and I thought, are you right, mate? And he goes, wasn't too happy with what you said about during the game last night, and I was like, okay, sorry, mate, but was I right? And he goes, you might have been, but that doesn't matter. So, but apart from that, hopefully I haven't been too critical to the refs out there. Like I said, I used to be a level 1 as well, so they do a good job.
Very good, Kimmy.
Look, before I started reffing, I probably was a bit of a hothead back in the day, and like most people are, they have their own opinion on something, and then I started reffing and I was like, okay, like you're obviously in a different position to the player. So, there was one referee that used to come down when I was playing just social comp down at North, and it was Anthony Smith, who now lives up, he's been mentioned before actually on this podcast, but he lives up in Queensland now. And just the way that he used to, join in the banter, and he was quite, you'd say, that was forward, and he goes, probably was, I just didn't see it, sorry. It was just the way that he spoke, and it was kind of like letting you know that, you're probably right, but I missed it, so we have to go on, and you're like, or if you said, the ball was down, you're like, I saw you put the ball down, but I thought the touch was before. It just makes the player realise that, okay, well, they haven't told me I'm wrong. So when you get the referees that are coming through and they say to you, no, that's not right or whatever else, it's really hard to bite your tongue. But yeah, when I'm coaching a junior team, you kind of remind them that, or you say, how many of you made a mistake today? And they all put their hand up, and it's like, well, the referees are the same. So you've just got to move on with it. But yeah, I'm not going to, there is one story, but I won't repeat it because I don't think we've got the right rating for it. No. It was a racial slur. So not me, but it came back to me. So yeah, that wasn't fun. But we'll move on to you, Cess.
Yeah. Oh, look, I haven't had too many run-ins or too many funny moments with referees. I enjoy the banter a little bit more now. I was certainly, I think when I was younger, really hot-headed, just wanted to win. Not to the level of some of the players these days, but we go at it. I think I didn't get sent off too many times, been subbed a few times. Got subbed in our semi-final last Friday night.
Oh.
It was just frustration. The Caboolture kids, they're just fast and they were physical, and so we were being physical back. I was probably over physical a little bit, and the ref pulled me up after I'd gone in a little bit too hard, and certainly did turn my body. There was nothing. I had no leg to stand on. Either did the kid on the ground. The referee just said to me, "You've done it 3 times this game," and I said, "Well, I've only been penalised this once," and then I got set off for a sub. So and the boys gave me a little bit about that, but not too much these days. I think as I've gotten older, it's funny in the 30s and 40s, you either get the hotheads that feel like they know everything and they do battle with the refs, or you get, I think I'm in the other camp now where it's more, it's not going to change anything, so let's just get on with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Next question was from Saldo. What is your most memorable touch tournament after party? You mentioned before State of Origin, where you got a bit of a sledge from Corey Russell.
Yeah, I typically, because at that point when I was working for Queensland Touch, when the after party officially started, I didn't want to be anywhere near it because I was still technically on the tools, and I knew there would be carnage ahead. It might have been that first State of Origin series back in 2012. I got a call from the local police station to say that one of the players had been found on a roundabout. I actually can't recall who that was, and I said I was not on the clock at that particular time, so I would not be retrieving them from the roundabout. But yeah, I've definitely wind back the clock. I haven't been involved in too many wild parties. Yeah, we're more when you're sort of working at the competition. It's a couple of quiet beers kind of thing after it, but. You guys have probably got better stories than me, I reckon.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been a part of 4 losing series. So the celebrations aren't as sweet as when you're winning. But in saying that, as you said at the start, like you play touch or you're involved in some capacity because of the people. So I've been lucky enough to be, friends with a few people on the other side of the turf as well. And I think probably other than 2012, I was with the New South Wales women's 20s, and it was a clean sweep, and that team was stacked. Full of players who I wasn't too across like the names of the game then, but looking back, there was a pretty solid team. But after that, I went to mixed open, and then I've lost 5 in a row. Wow, maybe it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I think there was actually one at Coffs, and because of COVID, we couldn't go anywhere, so they had to have it at the stadium, and it was out the front, and they had like a live band, and it was more like outdoors, and I love going to an indoor venue or whatnot, but that just seems like a little bit more chilled and relaxed, and I actually really enjoyed that because it was just you were at the stadium, you didn't have to go anywhere, you could go back and whatever, but you could just hang around, and there were drinks there, and it was just the Origin crew. With supporters. I can't remember if they were allowed to stay, but that was really, for something different, that was probably really enjoyable. There were some, all of them have been enjoyable actually. But yeah, for the PG story, that was just a nice change.
I got an opportunity once. It's not so much of a wild story, but when it would have been Elite 8 days back then, and when trying to think, we went through so many different team names in Queensland. I think they were the Outlaws at the time, combination of NQ and CQ. They won their first title, and Phil Guymore, current Australian men's coach, was coaching them at the time, and invited me to go back to their team room afterwards. And I just thought it was just to have a quick beer or something like that. And I hadn't been in that environment before, where it was just all the players around in a circle. And I didn't really know what was going to unfold, and it started at player number 1 with the jersey, and they went around and spoke about what it meant to them to win the tournament. And after the first player, everyone was in tears. It was so emotional, and it got around to players like Dave Zanetti and Dan Withers that had gone to 20-something national tournaments, and that was the first one that they made. So the first one that they won, and just what it went into getting that, and they've got obviously the distance factor as well, and we then threw players from Townsville and Cairns in, and they had to travel to Rocky and everything like that, and it was just this emotional storm, and I walked out of that just completely different perspective on everything. I went back, this is embarrassing too, but because everyone's so emotional, I just went back and cried in my room as well. I don't know, I didn't even know why I was, but firstly to be invited into that should have just been from them. I shouldn't have been there, but for them to invite me back to it was something special. And then from that point on as well, that they ramped it up as well to the point where we had to replace the carpet in the hotel. Nothing, they didn't do anything too bad. They were just moving chairs around and everything like that. But that's the two sides of it. You know, you get the big celebrations at the end, but to see a team have success like that and to, you know, hear about what it meant to them, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Probably younger days for me is I've mastered the art of smoke bombing now. At most after parties, I think uni games is a given. You know, you get
yes,
pretty wild, and. Shout out also to the Cess Cup, which is a little known tournament at Casuarina every year. It's actually where I met my wife at Cess Cup. Yeah, so a lot of those stories, and she's an ex-touchy, doesn't play anymore. But yeah, so we actually met there, and this doesn't lead into the that wasn't as a result of an after party, by the way. But the uni games ones, I think, were the most where we got into the most trouble and things that we would pick up on the way back home. So you'd have anything from markers to street signs. And it became a competition where who would bring the most random thing. And then when you moved out, like if we were, Townsville was one of them, where you got out of your accommodation and you had to find a place to dump this stuff. So you just left it out the front of the house. But good memories for what we can remember of those days.
Oh, well, I misheard that question. I thought it was just like Origin.
No, any after party.
I will tell
here we go. Now the door's opening.
I will tell you right now, the best after party of any touch tournament was back in the day, State Cup, Port Macquarie.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
At the Panthers, and you used to have to buy a ticket. They've tried to recreate it, and it's just not the same, and it used to be packed out. Like, you'd go in, it cost you $10 or something, you'd have the pokies out the front, you'd go in, either a live band or a DJ, the drinks, you'd buy a round of drinks, it's $30. Yeah. And you'd get kicked out at maybe like the lights would come at like maybe 2:30 or something like that. Everyone would make the walk back into town at the kebab shop, and people, because there are no cabs, people are just like walking kilometres home, and it was just such an. There was 1 year I was playing Div 1 and we won State Cup. That was the first State Cup we won, and the next morning on the bus, everyone was just sitting there going, what the fuck happened last night? And it was before we had phones with cameras. And I remember sitting there going, oh, I have a camera. And it was like a hangover moment, you know, at the end of the movie where they look through their camera reel. And we were just going, oh my God. We had one girl end up in the hospital. She passed out in the bathroom. And I remember like walking someone else out and coming back and seeing an ambulance and going, oh my God, like who the hell is that for? And it was for one of my teammates. She calls me at like 4:30 going, Kimmy, are you at the hotel? I'm coming back from the hospital. I'm like, hold up, what? I walk out of my room and there's another teammate in the fetal position in the living room, and it was just like chaos. But yeah, back in the day, long story short, New South Wales State Cup, after party on the Sunday night at Panthers.
Place to be.
Thanks for the Lukes for sending those questions through. A couple more questions for you, Scotty, for the podcast. Food-related question for all of us. What's the best meal you've had at a restaurant?
Oh, this is probably disgusting, but one that always sticks out. Where I was in Vegas with my wife. Might have been a honeymoon, I'm not too sure, but we were poorer back then. We're still poor. But we stayed a street back from the strip. And this place was still a casino, but it was just like, it's amazing how you just go one street back and it's just another world back there. But the restaurant that was attached to it, they had what they called a fried chicken. So it was basically like a schnitzel that was the size of a toilet seat. They cook it in chicken stock and then they cover it in chicken gravy. Best thing I've ever had in my life. Fried chicken with mashed taters on the side and all that sort of stuff in this dingy bloody Vegas casino. Muy caliente. Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah.
Kimmy, can you top that?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think I can either.
I don't think I can.
Yeah, they do it bigger and better in the States.
Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah, we've had some pretty big feeds over there.
I'd say recently, so like I got to go to Albania after the World Cup and was never on the radar until a friend of mine went a couple of years ago and said, you have to go. So actually a few people ended up going after the World Cup, but there was this one restaurant that was just opposite. We ended up going there all nights except for one, and it was this seafood like pasta, and it was €10. And it's the best seafood pasta I've like ever had. Hands down, I was like, yeah. Anyway, that's like the best meal I've had this year was that seafood pasta in Albania.
Best meal I've had ever, and I didn't want to be this guy, but I was on a tour group traveling around Europe and stopped in Florence, and the tour guide said to the group, have this steak. It's only the beef reared up in Florence. It's a Florentine steak. The chef will only cook it one way, sear, salt and pepper, not allowed any sauces, which Scotty really fine
Yeah,
with.
I'm all for that.
That's fine. But he'll only serve it, the chef will only serve it that way. That's the only way they'll serve it is pretty much blue. It cost a fortune, but we got the steak, and because there was 20 of us in the group, we just split it up, so it wasn't too much. So I can't remember exactly how many euros, but I never would have paid that for myself. It was the best melt in your mouth steak I've ever had, and I will go back to my tour guide and happily say to him, yeah, you're right. I'm that jerk now that says, no steak will ever beat the Florentine steak that I had in Florence in 2010 or whatever it was. Wow. Amazing. So if you're heading over to Italy, Florence, guaranteed.
Well, so we got a reco for Florence, for Albania, and for Vegas.
And Vegas,
There you go. Yeah.
Chicken on chicken.
Very different meals. I didn't feel great after it, but during it was awesome. It's you got to put some work in to get through that one. Yeah.
I like it. Last question for you, Scotty, for the podcast. Fave dish to have with rice?
I'm a bit of a spice man, so anything that's got a bit of heat with it. And I like to use the rice as like the sauce soaking up mechanism, So, red curry, something like that. I'm pretty happy with anything. But I think you mentioned a lot of people are saying fried rice.
Yes.
I'm making another controversial statement here. I would never have fried rice as just a main meal by itself. I'll have it on the side, But the rice complements, I think. It's very important, but I like to have it soak up that sauce.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I'm not a fried rice. People that order just fried rice.
I'm not for it.
It's weird.
Yeah. Get something with it. Kimmy?
I will order a fried rice.
On its own.
Chicken fried rice.
Yeah.
It's got to have the protein.
Ordering. But I'm with you, Scotty. That's a side.
Yeah, it's a side.
Even if it's chicken fried rice. Even if it's pumped full of whatever.
I'm ordering other things as well, but
Yeah.
So I won't just have a chicken fried rice.
No,
I can't remember the last time. So in Sydney, like you go to Newtown and there's like Thai restaurant after Thai restaurant, and sometimes like the way that they cook that chicken fried rice, yeah, it slaps. But I'll go with it's basically you're swapping out the rice for the noodles for rice. It's the same thing.
Yeah. This podcast has been full of controversy, I have to say. And on that note, Scotty, we'll let you get back to the Bay. No doubt listening to some Harry Styles on the trip back.
Yeah, I'm ready to pump it up on the way
probably
home.
Stopping in for some Dirty Bird.
You know it. The car just turns itself in. I don't even put the blinker on.
Thank you very much for giving up your time and joining us. The voice of touch football. We're looking forward to hearing you commentate the Metro Cup Grand Finals this weekend and also the Queensland State Cup. All the main games, I'm sure. Unfortunately, men's 30s don't get a look in there. I'll have to have a chat to the board about that one. But thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you giving up your time. Everyone else, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. Thanks for listeners for joining us. And until next time, we'll see you on the 7.
Can't wait.
Thank you for listening to the Touch and Rice podcast. Please join us on all our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Touch and Rice Podcast.